So if you're looking to dominate possession and control the game in Football Manager 2023, I have 5 tactics, possibly 8, but maybe 5 tactics that I'm going to share with you today in this video that will help you dominate possession and control games a lot more in Football Manager 2023. So the first tactic we're looking at here is the positive headache 4-2-3-1 tactic. It has certain players on attack duty, especially the shadow striker on attack duty, advanced forward on attack, 2 wing backs on attack as well, and then the standard defensive pairing of 2 ball playing defenders and 1 standard sweep, 1 sweeper keeper on defense, 2 ball playing defenders on the support. So for lower league sides, this might also be a very good tactic for you to jump on. And then you can see that there's a slightly lower defensive line for this tactic and a high press, so there's a huge gap in between, but it sort of helps you remain solid in the defense and also trigger press your position a lot early when your players are right up there trying to win possession of the ball. Much more often, trigger press and preferential goalkeeper distribution is an option for this tactic, and they're also asking your team to get stuck in, which means for lower leagues, yes, you will try to get the ball a lot earlier. You're going to try and hustle your position, while your in possession instructions goes as counter press and to counter, asking the goalkeeper to distribute the ball quickly while rolling the ball out to either the centre backs or the full backs. And then you can see now in possession, the team is trying to play the ball out wide. This, from what I've noticed, is trying to create space for the shadow striker and the advanced forward on attack duty. So what's going to happen is that they're going to try to play the ball to the flanks. We use the overlaps, use the wing backs, and even the wide players, the inside forwards, are going to take wider positions and then try to come inside from those wide areas. In possession, also, they're asking the team to play with short passing, higher tempo, run at defense, while playing those low crosses as well. And so far so good. The times I tested this tactic, the few games that I tested this tactic out with, it did go on to give us good results and good dominance over the opposition that we're playing against. So the next tactic that we're going to be looking at, oh come on Josh, you can't be serious. Lowtempo.exe was created by Josh Daly, and he actually went on to design this tactic to try to be as aggressive as possible while playing a possession based style of play that is, somewhat low tempo, controlling, at the same time trying to hustle the opposition. But I love the name of this tactic, by the way, .exe. Okay, super keeper on support duty for this tactic, and then you have the standard pairing of the ball playing defender on defend duty on either side, but this time your wing backs are on support duty, and Josh goes on to include a regista on support. One of my favorite roles in Football Manager 2023, by the way. No instructions for the regista, but this player goes on to control the game from midfield, trying to operate slightly in the number 10 position because the team is going to be really high. So the regista is going to be all the way up here, and then your mezzala is going to be out wide at some point. Box-to-box midfielder is going to be responsible for partially the defensive part of the midfield job, so he's going to be the one getting up and down the field. 2 inverted wingers on attack duty and an advanced forward on attack as well. When your team is in possession, they've been asked to play with a very low tempo, with a slightly shorter passing, something you don't see very often in Football Manager. That's kind of why I like this tactic as well. Fairly narrow, play out of defense, and going on to be more expressive. No other extra instructions attached to the tactic in possession. When they're out of possession though, the team has been asked to counter press and to counter. Goalkeeper is instructed specifically to distribute the ball to the centre backs and distributing it quickly, this time taking short kicks. When they're out of possession, then high press with a standard defensive line. Not a lot of people are going for very high defensive line this time around, because I've noticed that long balls over the top are quite a thing in Football Manager 2023, and the AI goes to score a lot of goals from that manner. So using a standard defensive line is quite good in this case. High press, much more often trigger press, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and stay on the feet when the team is out of possession. The next tactic we're looking at is RDF's recreation of Roberto De Zerbi's 4-2-3-1 system at Brighton and Hove Albion. This is a very special tactic. By the way, if you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when new Football Manager tactic sharing videos do come out here like this. And RDF went on to include a deep line player, a deep line forward on support duty, 2 wingers on 2 wing backs on attack, an inverted winger on attack duty. The entire system is quite convoluted, I have to admit. It's one tactic that you don't really see very often, and I'm going to attach a link to RDF's video so you can go ahead and watch the full detail about how he went on to create this tactic. It's a very unique tactic, trying to represent how Brighton and Hove Albion play under Roberto De Zerbi ever since he took over in the Premier League this year. So you can see that the mentality is currently balanced. He actually created 3 versions of the tactic, really. The normal standard version of the tactic that when you're playing at home, and then you have the away version of the tactic that is slightly high tempo, away style. You can see very similar, but the tempo is quite different. And then you're going to also see the style of play when you're going up against the big teams like Liverpool and Manchester City away from home, how you're going to set up your team, and to, obviously you can see you look at the in possession instruction, you're going to be slightly more disciplined in this version of the tactic than all the other 3. I'm going to attach the links to everybody's tactics so you can go ahead and hit the download button and try the tactics out for yourself. But in RDF's case, I'm going to attach a link to his video as well, so you can see that in-depth knowledge of how RDF went about creating Roberto De Zerbi's tactic on Football Manager 2023. Segundo Volante on defensive midfield role, deep line playmaker support as well, probably acting as the holding midfielder as the Volante is allowed to roam free and just create havoc in the opposition's third. So the next tactic that we're going to be looking at here is the Islam charm, popularly known as the assembler tactic. It looks very similar to the first tactic that we looked at, which is the positive headache 4-2-3-1 system. That's because it's actually created by the same guy. His name is Delicious Story, and if you go to FM Base network right now on the FM Base tactic table, you're going to see that this is two of the best tactics currently running on Football Manager 2023, and so far so good. They look quite similar, but the difference, I actually put them side by side so you can see the difference between the positive headache and the assembler tactic. So the positive headache has a lot more instructions, it's a lot more controlling with the positive mentality, but you can see that the assembler tactic goes on to have fewer instructions, it's more attacking, more adventurous, slightly higher tempo as well. So you can see that there's a shadow striker, same roles, same player instructions, same team slightly different team instructions, team mentality is obviously more adventurous than the previous tactic that we went on to look at. And the last but not the least is one of my very own It's My Ball tactic from Football Manager 2022 and Football Manager 2023. It tends to work both ways in Football Manager as well. Very adventurous tactic, more of the possession or more obsessed with possession than most of the other tactics that I've gone on to create on Football Manager 2023. In this case, you have a complete wing back on attack duty and a wing back on support duty, and then you have a central defender on defend with one ball playing defender on defend, and your super keeper is on support duty. There's a deep line playmaker on support duty, acts to pass shorter and try to control the game a lot more, and then your advanced playmaker and mezzala are those players that are responsible for creating chances in the higher areas of the pitch in the opposition's final third. False nine on support, I actually enjoyed using this role in previous years, and in Football Manager 2023 it didn't disappoint as well. Inside forward on support duty paired with the complete wing back on attack, and then you have an inside forward on attack duty paired with the wing back on support. The general mentality for this tactic is attacking, and you can see that the tempo is much shorter with slightly lower tempo as well. The passing directness is much shorter with slightly lower tempo. Time wasting is also included in this tactic, so the obsession is about trying not to waste too many chances and also try to hold on to the ball as long as possible to try and create chances. It's going to be a bit passive when you're going on to create these chances, but what you're doing with this tactic is try to starve the opposition off the ball and try to create chances. Once you have the ball and the opposition can't get the ball off you, they can't really hurt you if they don't have possession of the ball. So that's the idea behind this tactic, It's My Ball. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like on it, and also if you are not subscribed to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when new Football Manager tactic testing videos and Football Manager tactic sharing videos do come out here on the channel. I'll catch you guys with more Football Manager hints and tips like this. If you have a special tactic that you're working with, a special possession-based tactic or attacking tactic or any tactic at all that you're currently using in Football Manager and you're enjoying yourself, remember to let me know in the comment section below to check out your tactic. If you have a tactic that you're going on to or you want your tactic to get tested here on the channel, let me know in the comments, we'll have a look at it, and I'll catch you guys much later in another video. See you soon.